Hello everyone, it's me, Madeline. So, as I do my arts and craft, I won't be showing my face in this video, but I wanted to talk to you guys about a topic that has been on my list of videos to make for a while. Oh, for a while, and I'm gonna talk to you guys about four topics. I'm going to talk to you guys about my little Halloween town, and it's a place that I, as a child, created because I've never been able to like go to sleep or so. Like, you know how people say, oh, you know how kids, after a while, they start developing their ego, and so the veil becomes thicker and thicker to them instead of having it thinner. And so when people refer to that experience, they refer to the experience as if you were going to sleep, because you can no longer see the fairies, you can no longer see the gargoyles, which I loved as a child. Oh, I loved it. And so I wanted to make it in this is my camera. Had I made it on my laptop, I would have had to show my face because I don't know how the hell to position it. So I'll probably make like part 1 and part 2, and of me just like talking nonsense. Or maybe I'll talk about like my Halloween town and Hecate first. Or I don't know. Let's see. So I just wanted to say that. So it's going to be about that. And it's also going to be about me being rejected by a goddess. When I first started my path, I had no idea that, let me move these here, that goddesses can reject you. I just thought if you want to work with them, you just form a connection with them, and once they start wanting to communicate with you, then you can go ahead and communicate with them. Now, just so that you guys know, this happened like in the summer. I did not always categorize myself as a witch. I did not use that word for a very long time. And just this summer that just passed, like 2015, I started feeling comfortable with the word witch and calling myself a witch. Before that, I was just a tarot card reader. And during the summer, I really started, I accepted the goddesses that came to me. One of which, if you guys have been following me for a while, oh no. If you guys have been following me for a while, it's Mary Magdalene. I don't consider her a saint. I consider her a goddess due to her past lives. So, and the information that she has given to me, whether it's in dreams, meditation sessions, so on and so forth. So I had no idea that goddesses could reject you. I thought that, you know, once you started working with them, it's all good in the hood. Well, look at this. It wasn't all good in the hood. I reached out to Isis once I started wanting to call myself a witch, and I did meditation sessions where I did certain things to venerate her, call her name, you name it. She came to me and said, you know, I'm not going to work with you. Playing out like that. And I was awake when this happened. This is very strange. She was not materialized, but she was talking to me through my third eye, and I believe she could do that due to the fact that people believe, and I believe that also, that Mary Magdalene, or Miriam, but she's known as Mary Magdalene, reincarnated as Mary Magdalene after assisting in ancient Kemet. Now, first of all, just so that you guys know, just in case you guys don't know, her name is not Isis. I know people call her Isis. Her name is Osset. A lot of people, if you reach out to the African, Latino, African American community, it's considered a little bit of a disrespect to call her Isis, because Isis is like whitewashed name. Her name was Osset. If you look her up, it's Osset. If you look up her pictures, she's also melanated. And so, just to give you guys a little bit of info on that, so, what is going on with my camera? I'm going to pause the video for just a minute. Okay, guys, so I had no idea what the hell was going on. So, if you guys search information in regards to like Pan-American, Pan-African-American, or something like that, and you'll see that their names were Isis's real name is Osset, and people like to spell it A-U-S-E-T, but I don't like to spell it that way. I spell it A-S-E-T. Osiris's real name is Asar. I think that's how you pronounce it. People like to spell it A-U-S-A-R. Sorry. And Horus's name is Heru. H-E-R-U, if I'm not mistaken. And Osset, I'm going to say Osset from this point forward so that you guys understand, came to me in her original form. If you guys search up like statues of Osset's original form, she comes up as a reptilian mother goddess. Do your research on that. In like ancient temples and information that people hide from the masses, her original form is as a snake, not as a human, which is why in a lot of pictures, or a lot of in the hieroglyphics, in certain like cards and certain authors, they give you that message, and it's like kind of like a hidden message because they don't give her feet. And they do this with Kuan Yin also, but it's because they were really serpent people, or so it's believed. And the reason why I say they're melanated, I'm sorry, I just get so focused, and the reason why I say they're melanated is because that's what they produce. They produce melanated beings. Anyway, if you don't follow that story, that's fine. I don't want to disrespect anybody either who is not is not aware of the stories or different stories of the Trinity. But you guys can go ahead and do your own research. So, and come up with your own conclusions. Isn't that wonderful? And then, so she came to me via a conversation within my third eye. And like I said, I feel like she was capable of doing that because I do believe that she is the reincarnation of Mary Magdalene. Or Mary Magdalene is the reincarnation of her, who is probably on the planet as we speak, because the divine feminine energy has been awake since, they say, December 21st, 2015, but I think it was probably in 2011. But that's what the astrologers believe. But anyway, and she said to me, she spoke in a language that I understood, but it wasn't English. It was not in anything that I've ever heard in my life, but I understood it because in my brain it translated to something that I understood. I don't know how that happened, but it happened. And she said to me, I'm not going to work with you, but I'll be by your side and leading you. And she said, as long as you remember me. And once you remember me, you will know. Meaning, well, at least this is what I got from it. Meaning, don't venerate me or don't work with me as you work with everyone else. But that doesn't mean that I've left you. And the reason why I feel like she said that, it's because I was working with her anyway. It's just in a different facet of her. And then once, like a couple of days after that, or maybe it was like in the span of a week or two, I was very tired one day and I came home and decided that, you know what, I'm not going to do any chores, I'm not going to do anything, I'm going to just take my little self to bed because I'm exhausted. So I got myself prepared for bed, and before I could even remember, like I don't even remember going to sleep. I mean, like hitting the actual bed. I remember sitting up on my bed, and then all of a sudden I was at my town of mine, and I call it my Halloween town because it has goblins, witches, werewolves, everything. And once I was there, I was accompanied by the same person that had accompanied me and drives me around and takes me to different places since I was a kid. We went through the portal that I usually go through, which was normal to me. It just was the first time that I was ever pulled in like that. And they had a message for me. And in my portal, I mean, in this place that I created in my mind, where everyone coexists. It's like my little utopia. But the veil is very, very clear. There is no veil, basically. And I saw ancestors of mine whom I seen during my childhood, and I only recognize them not because I've ever seen them in real pictures, but because they have the same face as my family members from my mom's side of the family. So I've had conversations with them that day during my travels, and one of them was a great aunt of mine, and she was a witch. I've never seen her before, but I know she was a witch because when she sees me every time I astral travel into this place of mine, she's like, oh my god, we've missed you so much. So I feel like, because time doesn't exist over there, so I've probably been gone for years and years and years, according to them, I guess. I don't go there very often. I go there when I am feeling extremely tired, when I want to just get away. And so that's where I go. Or I experience trauma, disappointment. And that is not always. I mean, I do experience it, but not in the way where I want to just go away. You know, it has to be something very extreme. And so, I was there. I had a conversation with her, and we were at Rite Aid, and she tells me, you know, pick up everything that you need. Take all the herbs, all the soaps, and you have to make like herbal things, herbal soaps for people, not herbal things. She said herbal soaps for people. So take everything, and I am going to stay in this fucking line that's absolutely ridiculous. And on that line, they were like different, like witches, werewolves, fairies, waiting to pay up at the register. And she's like, I'm gonna just tell them that you're here and that they need to let you pass by. And so when they saw me, they were like, oh yes, 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 ma'am, yes. They kind of like knew who I was, I guess. And they're like, yeah, we'll ring you up. You guys are gonna think I'm fucking crazy, but this is my life. And so they rang me up. I went outside. I went with the person that accompanies me every time I go there. And he's like, listen, we have to hurry up. We gotta go. I have to take you back to the portal. And he takes me back to the portal, and he's like, oh, and don't forget all the things. So I go back to the portal, and I go through the portal, and I end up on like 186th Street in my neighborhood, Washington Heights. And I see that there's like a festival going on, and then I saw a coworker of mine And she's there dancing around, parading around, and she's like, yeah, Madeline, you have to get down with the music, like, get down. There's a parade going on, and there were like monkeys like dancing around. It was just like this big old parade. I have no idea what they were celebrating. And then she tells me, you know, I have to tell you something before you go. And I was like, you know what, man, we have to go. We have to go. We have to get out of here, because look, the portal is about to close on this side of town. And I was like panicking because I had no idea how she got there. And she's like, no, 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 I'm going to stay here, and I'm going to show you the message. And she wrote on the side of a truck that happened to have a chalkboard on it. And she's like, Madeline, you have to be like this person. You have to be like her. She's amazing. She's wonderful. She'll show you your crossroads. And I'm like, who the fuck is she talking about? And she writes down Hecate's name. I was like, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, maybe Hecate wants to work with me. And that just wasn't the case. As it was just a way where I had to embody Hecate, not because Hecate wanted to work with me. And so I started doing my research on Hecate, and when I did my research, I found what she wanted to say. I'm not gonna say the message online because it was a private message, and in one of the printouts that I did online, it gave me the message, and then I just knew. Because it is said that Hecate protects all of her witches, or at least witches that are good enough for her, I guess, or good enough for her to speak to. And I guess that was, as a witch, that was a message from her. And it was amazing. It was beautiful, and I thank her very, very much. And at first I thought to myself, you know, maybe she wants to work with me, but that just wasn't the case. So I took the message as it was. Yeah, yummy, yummy. In my tummy. Look at that. Doesn't that look beautiful? Yes, it does. Gorgeous with the backing. Yep. Anyway, so that was that. And then when I went back into the portal, and I woke up. And I woke up in my house, and it was already time for me to go to work. So I said, you know what, I have to go to work. Like, I cannot. And I felt more tired because I just woke up in a I don't know how long I was astral traveling, and I don't like doing that. And I had no idea how I did it. I swear to you, I didn't. Because I don't like to lose track of time like that. I like to be conscious when I'm going into it, so that I'm conscious when I'm going out of it, out of the experience. And so anyway, I just got up. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to get ready to go to work. It was already 7 o'clock. And I looked down at my pants. It's my gray sweatpants that I like to wear when I am at work. I'm at home. And there was a face on it, and it was Nefertiti's face. And when I looked at her, she was very much alive. It was kind of like a silhouette, kind of like when you look at a face, or at your face when you're looking at the water, and it's kind of like moving. That's exactly what it was. And I said, you know what? I said, what do you want? Who are you? Just to test her, because I asked all spirits that I've ever encountered, that I've ever spoken to you, even on set. To you, to whoever I've spoken to, I ask them questions, because there's so many other spirits trying to embody them, and their persona or their personality, that it's just not it. It's the same thing when you hear stories about, like, oh, I met Jesus, and and then you ask them, like, oh my gosh, this is horrible. And then you ask them, like, so who did you see, and how did he look like? And there's nothing bronze or melanated about him, so you kind of have to, like, question it. Nobody ever questions them, and so there's, like, different forms of Yahshua or Jesus out there in the world. But anyway, I asked her, I said, what do you want? Who are you? And she's like, I am the queen of the sun. She said, I am the queen of the sun. I am the sun. I follow the sun. I'm Nefertiti. And I'm like, okay, do you realize that in my time it's 7 o'clock in the morning? Because I speak to them as if, like, I am the great I am. You know, sometimes you got to put them on a clock, because if not, they'll bombard you with messages. And she's like, I know who you are. I know exactly who you are. But aren't you sad at what's going on with women nowadays, or how low we have stooped ourselves after we've created and gave life to the world? Look how sad they are. And then her face turned into like a collage of different women's faces that have been battered, beaten, and abused. And I was just like, holy shit, this is really happening. And I am totally and completely awake, totally conscious, totally and completely conscious. And I said, you know what, I'll work with you, because I know it's one of my purpose to wake up the divine feminine in a lot of women, to wake up their divinity, and for them to understand that they were not the curse of the world, and it wasn't because of them that the world is how it is. It's because of all genders, all species, and it just is. The all is always and will always continue to try to figure itself out, and along the way things will not be perfect. And since we are different facets and different faces of the all, things will go wrong. It's no one's fault. And I need people to realize that. It's one of my workings in this lifetime, in this and the next and the next and the next. Point blank period. Whether I am human in the next life or not. It's what I decide. And then, even though I don't want to come back for like another 500 years, 500 to 800 years, I think that's going to be my time limit. Anyway, I told her, I'll work with you. Tell me what you like. Now, I've never had anybody work with her before, and I just, made that contract right there and then. And she's like, you know what? I love makeup. This is the makeup that I like. I love red lipstick, and I love perfume. And she was showing me the different type of makeups and accessories she liked. And then, kind of like that weekend after I had that dream, I went. It was not more than a week. I went to the stores and I bought my goddesses a couple of things, and I changed their altars around. I just did a whole 360 on all of their altars, and then I set up her altar. And I set up her offering bowl. So it was an amazing experience, because I was kind of like a little bummed out and sad that I couldn't work with Offset, because I respect her so much. But that's okay, because she will always be here with me, caring for me, watching for me, and when I need some ass kicking advice, not that my other goddesses don't give it to me, because they do, but because she is to me the creation, the source of the human creation. She will always be with me. So she's the embodiment of Gaia, I feel. So I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of information and let you guys know how I was rejected by a goddess, in a sense, and picked up by another, and a little bit of information. So, but I'm happy, because Nefertiti is the Egyptian queen, and I still have that connection to Kemet. It's amazing. So I'm happy about that, and I will see you guys in the next video. And please do make sure to watch the my collection videos that I'm doing. I will probably upload these videos between Monday and Tuesday. And please make sure to enter into the giveaway, whether you are a pagan or not. If you're not a pagan, then the cards will not go in the package, but the rest of the stuff will. The rest of the goodies will. So please do not hesitate to enter, and I will see you guys soon. Toodles. Bye. Oh, and thank you for watching me in my boring little sessions of making it look a little different. Look at this. Isn't that fantastic? Look at the difference. Hello, good morning. I love that. Alright, I'll leave you guys alone. Have a fantastic weekend wherever you are. Bye!